transitions are always fun. Yeah. Okay, so while we're waiting for the deck to come up, just an introduction, my name is Varun, as I've been introduced. I'm part of a small team at Google, which looks at forging deep partnerships with select group of companies globally to help them transform themselves and the sectors that they are in. So I'm going to be here talking today about how AI can help retail and how you should think about it, more than talk of where to use AI per se. Right? So to start out with, and following me will be a couple of my colleagues actually showing you showing you in real life how you can think of using AI in various aspects of the businesses that you're part of. Right? Yeah. So we all know this. It's a big shift. It's a foundational shift. There's different language, different words used. It's going to change the world. It's going to disrupt the world, and all the noise around it. But the reality is, it is a fundamental shift. This is equivalent to, in my mind, to saying when ink and paper came together, the written word was created in the way that it was put down together. People didn't know what to do with the ink by itself or with the paper by itself, but when that came together is when, as we know, the press, etc., started coming to place. It's like penicillin, discovered by chance, but the application of that changed healthcare, changed the lives of people globally. And this is as recent as, the penicillin is in the 1930s, 1940s. It's a fundamental shift. It's like the transistor being discovered or being created, right? People didn't know what they could do with the transistor, but if it wasn't for the transistor, where we are standing, this tech we are using, this audio, etc., would not just be working. So AI is a foundational thing. The challenge for everyone is where to use it and how to use it. And that's kind of increased with this, and I'm using the word noise here, or hype, about Gen AI over the last 12 to 15 months. It's changing what people think they can do with it. It's changing what people fear as well. Right? There's a whole bunch of opportunities that people are exploring. At the same time, there's a whole lot of fear on what impact it will have on lives in society. Right? I want to actually start by giving you a perspective on how Google thinks of AI, and well, where has AI been as far as Google goes. Right?
Since day one, we set out to significantly improve the lives of as many people as possible. And with a little help, you found new answers, discovered new places. The right words came at just the right time. And we even learned how to spell the word Epicurean.
R-I-A-N.
Life got a little easier. Our photos got a little better. And we got closer to a world where we all belong.
All stations ready to resume count. 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
So as we stand on the cusp of a new era, new breakthroughs in AI will reimagine the ways we can help. We will have the chance to improve the lives of billions of people. We will give businesses the opportunity to thrive and grow, and help society answer the toughest questions we have to face. Now, we don't take this for granted. So while our ambition is bold, our approach will always be responsible. Because our goal is to make AI helpful for everyone.
Okay, great. I think just to add some context to that video, the intent of that video was to depict that, look, AI has been at the core of what Google has been doing for the longest time. While we may have publicly come out in 2016 and say we are an AI-first company, but our products, even search or YouTube or anything else you see, would not be able to run at the scale it does if it wasn't driven and run on AI or driven by AI. And that is something that at the core of what Google has been doing for the longest time. It's just, we're bringing it to life in different ways, forms, and manner as we see it. Right? Now, while that's just the context of Google and how we think of AI, and fundamentally it's about saying how do you make AI useful for everyone, which includes generative AI. And it's just not about making it useful, but it's also doing it responsibly. You have to take care of safety concerns, privacy, etc., in that manner, which is important in today's day and age. Bias is very important as well, right? But I now want to just step into, before we get into how to think of AI in the fashion space, in the expansive fashion space, I want to actually step back, and more than anyone else, I think you folks in the room are the experts here. Right? We all know fashion is always on. And we at Google are seeing it as well, right? So we're seeing about 4 billion plus searches across fashion categories happening, right? And this is an India-focused number, as we have it, a stat that we have from last year, right? While it's always on, it's also personal. So when people are searching, they're searching for themselves more than for anything else. It's a very personalized search experience that people are driving there. Right? Fashion is omni, right? We heard of that in the last session as well. Well, you may start with this expression and the intent triggers, and then you start driving what Google calls the messy middle, and we start going through that whole experience of informing people, well, influencing their views, etc., and driving them towards the decision of buying. But that said, if you will look at it, more than offline, online is where we are actually seeing a massive search happening. 61% of people who buy offline actually first search online across various properties that Google has before they come into it, right? Fashion is growing. Yeah. We are seeing about a 12 to 13% increase in searches on fashion on a year-to-year basis. This is a number, but within that segment, it's a 4-time increase in searches for luxury, which is happening. And we heard of that in, I think, the Technopack session as well. Luxury is where there is a faster growth of interest of people doing what they need to do. So while overall fashion search is growing by about 12 to 13%, but the luxury segment is growing at 4 times that number. And this stat is of 23 over 22 here in that manner. Right? So that's where we are at, right? So it is always on, it is personal, it is omni. There's somewhat of a merging of online with offline, but the online world is where primarily people are starting to explore and then get into the offline mode. And it is a growth segment. Right? But the reality is, it's a very, very noisy world for brands and for consumers. Right? Let me actually think. So loyalty. 7 in 10 consumers bought from a new brand in the last 6 months. So the question is, what does loyalty mean in today's day and age then? How do you think of having a loyalty program, or what do you do without it, right? It's a question, and competition is increasing. There's a lot of people who are coming into play. Everyone's going after the same pie, which is increasing at the same, well, the size of the pie is increasing from a volume standpoint, but the number of, the competition is also increasing in line with that, right? So loyalty needs to get redefined in some form or manner, right? The second challenge, it is, exploratory, again, going back to the competition side. People are now, and this in a way builds on the loyalty side, we're seeing 90% of searches for apparel or fashion are brand agnostic. You will search for a blue jacket, not a blue jacket from brand X. Right? Where earlier it used to be brand-centric or brand-dependent. There were more brand-dependent searches than just generic searches. This is a huge change. This is also then driven, again, from a loyalty standpoint, the optionality standpoint, the ease of search standpoint that people are getting, have available with them. It's a real challenge, right? Sustainability, and we spoke of this, I think, at the very beginning there was a question. This is real. Your brand is being recognized also for how are you impacting this world, be it on a sustainability side, also from a social responsibility and corporate responsibility standpoint. It's a very real thing. And if I was to add, I think a couple of things which are playing into this. Patience is now a very passé word for consumers. Right? It used to be a thing that people had in the early 2000s or maybe in the 1990s, but we are a very bunch of impatient people. The consumer, the buyer, is now impatient, and that's a problem. Right? At the same time, perceptions in today's day and age can be, well, it takes a long time to build your brand, but it's very simple to lose it. It's very fast. You can lose it overnight. So brand perception and management is also a challenge. So there's a consumer need to saying, what I want now, which is that patience aspect. At the same time, there is this whole, who are you as a brand? How do you actually hold yourself up there from a trust standpoint, which is becoming equally important because it's very simple to lose it. Very difficult to build, but very easy to lose. Right? Now, if you keep these in mind, it is saying, yes, it's all growing, luxury is growing, it's omni, there's interest, market size is growing. At the same time, there are challenges of loyalty, of trust, of saying, that the competition is increasing, so on and so forth. I think fundamental question that every business in this space will look to answer is, in this environment that you've got increasing competition, you've got a growth market, you've got people who are brand agnostic or becoming brand agnostic to some sense. There's a loyalty question there. There is a cost competition which is driving up the value realization. How do you actually look to continuously, and actually please look at, there's the three aspects here. How do you, one, continuously, second, acquire lifelong transacting customers while improving your margins, because financial outcomes is what everyone's driven on. Right? Now, if you look at that, till a while back, this would be considered a utopian question, right? Not possible. I mean, it's something that you can aspire to be, but hey, it is a challenge, right? But what I want to say is that given AI, what AI can do, and I'm talking AI and not just Gen AI, I think there is real work that can be done in our minds to help across all these three things. To continuously acquire lifelong transacting customers while driving better financial outcomes for your business, right? And I'm going to speak to you on that, right? So AI does provide now, given where we are at, a once-in-a-generation opportunity to realize this. More so because of Gen AI now, right? So what we've got here is, and I think I want to call out, I think we need to redefine what omni means. Omni is no longer about the channel. Omni is about the experience of the consumer. I think that is, and I want to restate that. Omni is now more about the experience of the customer/consumer than about the channel. Right? Let me give an example on what I mean by this. Right? There are great things about my experience, which is in person in a store. There are some brilliant aspects. There are some brilliant aspects of me transacting or finding information online. Right? The new experience of Omni is, irrespective of me as a consumer, I need to have the best of both worlds, irrespective of where I am. I could be in the store, in the physical store, where I need to have the best of the online experience. While I'm online and I'm searching, or I'm on your website, on the brand's website, on e-commerce website, or wherever it is, I need to have the best of the in-person experience. Right? And so the world will now need to explore and work towards an omni-experience conversation and not an omni-channel only conversation. Because that kind of breaks the thing, and I will come to why we are saying this. Right? So in this space, a bunch of examples, the marketers here would know, there's the discovery, engagement, influence, transactions to the server side. And AI can play critical roles or enable critical capabilities in each one of these. Right? We'll come to some examples a little later. But on the other side, you have to also maximize stakeholder confidence. The stakeholder here is just not your customer. It's just not an investor. It's also your employee. Right? And I'm assuming, it's a given, regulatory compliance and so on and so forth is anyways taken care of. So stakeholder has to be thought of more broadly. The customer's on the left, but you need to think investor, employee, and other people. How do you actually identify trends faster? How do you rapidly design and test? How do you predict demand? In sourcing to manufacturing, to inventory management, to actually fulfillment, which is the logistics aspect of it, be it in-store or delivery, with the reverse logistics, etc., come into play. How do you drive productivity and efficiency of your operations, more so of your employees? How do you enable them, right? The power of this is when you look at both of them together. Yeah. And AI is what actually is now able to bridge this gap. And I want to take a pause here, because the challenge is the marketers and you will only look at the left-hand side. Yeah. The sourcing person, the manufacturing person will look at something there, right? The design folks will be only bothered about the testing or the design and testing aspect. But For any business to answer that question on continuously acquire lifelong transacting customers with always, where you're driving financial outcomes or better outcomes, you need to look at your business in totality. Not just the front end, not just the back end, but it's a seamless flow. And that is where the power of realizing that, that unlock of value realization would start. And I'll give you, now, just to give you an example. So my daughter, I have a 17-year-old daughter. She orders about 10 packages a month, right, of clothes, out of which about 6 or 7 are returned. Right? It's very simple for her to buy. She does cash on delivery mostly because we've not given her our credit cards. And she's just ordering, comes, she tries, and she returns. She makes the person wait, and she returns right then and there, which is great for her on the customer standpoint. And everyone, brands would have enabled that to happen. We're giving you a bespoke, great experience to cash on delivery. But can you imagine the business impact? So your cost of stocking, delivery, returns, etc., everything just jumps. Your inventory is back in again. Right? So is there a way you can rethink that experience? Can you actually enable my daughter to actually try what she needs to try online? On her phone, on the laptop, or wherever she may be. Right? Give her enough personalized experiences there where someone's, not a human, but she's being engaged and spoken to in the language she understands. She's, 17 years old. She's got all the lingos down, all the urban lingos down. I don't. But there's someone who can chat with her in that language. By the way, she may be in English, but someone else might need to speak spoken in Bengali or Assamese or some other language in that same way. How do you actually minimize or think of using technology, and specifically AI, to actually minimize the negative impact on your financial outcomes by optimizing or creating experiences on the front end? Right? Now that's if you were to only look at the customer side, you won't think of that. But when you marry both together to saying, I also have to look at my financial outcome, is where you will start asking those questions. And the key here is to actually think holistically across a business. And that's what we at Google are looking to do, to think, how can we help brands and companies, and I would go beyond brands, saying organizations think holistically on what the future of their business could be. Right? I'm going to pause here. What I want to do now is move to a few examples. For that, I'll ask my colleagues Shubha and Raghavendra to please come up.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Shubha. I'm actually today, for this session, I'm going to be the Robin to the Batman, who is Raghavendra, my colleague, and he will be showing you a few things live. We talk about AI, we talk about, I can't imagine it, it still feels like an abstract concept, so we thought we will give you a live demo. We want the control back at the lectern, please. We have the control at the lectern now? Yes, okay, great. All right, so I'm going to stand here because we're going to do a little bit of a banter as he pulls up some of the demos, but while we are at it, I was reading this McKinsey report. It's an executive survey that was done in the space of fashion. And 1/4 of the value unlock that is expected specifically from Gen AI in fashion is actually in the space of product innovation. So speaking of product innovation, do you have something to show us?
Sure. Hi, everyone, and thanks, Shubha, for the quick introduction. So let's see what generative AI can do for the fashion industry, right? In general, in retail, and we'll take very specific examples of fashion industry, and we'll drive this next few minutes through two very important use cases which matters the most for the companies, not just the consumer-facing e-commerce companies, but how it can actually help the fashion designers, how it can actually help the consumer product group, and so on. So what AI can do, if you want to quickly summarize, one, synthesize the information, second, generate content, third, interact through conversations, and predict demand, right? Let's see some of these things in action.
Okay.
So there is a McKinsey statistics which says that finding a new product or the product innovation can take up to 2 years, right? And this is particularly true in the chemical and some of the beauty and the cosmetics kind of industry where it can take really long time to find the next right product. And large part of this is to basically assimilate the information, the silos of information that you have, which can be, which the researching and the marketing team, they need to go through. And this information is yours, your data, but the teams need to go through a bunch of documents or bunch of reports. They need to go through all of this before they can actually come with some of the draft ideas, the initial draft ideas which can get rejected or get reviewed further, and this whole cycle is actually very long.
So just to clarify, this is not BARD-generated data.
This is not BARD-generated, because BARD can, while BARD can do a good job, but it's sourcing the information from the internet. A lot of the information which be available may not be very authentic, right? So it kind of actually can lead to hallucination. Here, what we saw in this particular video is you are uploading your data, like it could be your market research, it could be your competitive insights, or it could even be your own customers' reviews. Put all of them together, bring it together, the data, and you have the data ready, and now AI can actually do the magic for you.
And so this is, this very much is in the realm of a little bit of sci-fi, if you ask me. I mean, this is like art of possibility and what all you can do. I know you're showing me a sunscreen example, but...
Yeah. So I forgot to show this, right? So I have been only talking.
Yes.
Let's quickly switch to the demo for which actually I came for.
This is a live demo, folks. This is, just put together. The example we are using is more in the beauty space, but it can very well be applied to fashion and clothing.
And even to the snacking industry. So it doesn't prevent you. These are kind of a cross industry kind of the capabilities that you actually can build with the research, right? So how AI can help here. And in fact, the art of possibilities were of yesteryear. So now 2024 is all about realities, right? Let's quickly take a look. So I am actually a kind of a research person working on the next lip care balm, the product ideas. So I have kind of all the data which is already available, like it could be the reviews, it could be some thesis papers, or it could even be the customer reviews, right? So for the interest of time, actually I have already uploaded this. Now let's go and see what we can do. As a research assistant, now the generative AI can actually provide a whole bunch of information, right? So this is kind of a chatbot where you can ask the question, what is the main focus of, or maybe like, okay, this is particularly talking about that, or I can ask about what are possibilities of lip care balm. There is a typo, hopefully like it will still pick it up. So then it can actually find the answer for you, right? It can build various other combinations of information which is available. It can all bring them all in one place. Let's see like what it answers.
Yeah, we'll wait for the internet and hopefully that won't, oh, there you have it. Okay.
Yeah, so here you go. So it's talking about moisturizing lip balms, medicated lip balms, tinted lip balms. So you can ask the question, and now the answer is not again from internet or BARD, right? The answer is coming from the information that you have already provided to the AI, and you are asking on that, and it's all answering from that.
So typically, if we have to do this like manually, without without all your data sources getting uploaded in a single place, typically, what would you say would be the time that it takes to do this, and how much you are cutting, how much efficiency are you adding through this?
When you're talking about timelines,
yeah,
like to build something like this,
yes.
I mean, it can be built very quickly within few weeks, right? So once you build, like you can reuse across multiple projects within your company, but it takes quickly to build this up. So now here we are looking at some of the question and answer, and the beauty of this is also that it tells you where exactly it found the information from, so that you know that these answers are credible and there is a hallucination. Now let's quickly go to the generation, which is the much cooler part, right? The question and answers are probably still okay, which a lot of the public-facing chatbots can actually do. So now I'm selecting here, and I'm either I could type a custom one, or I say lip care balm for maybe occasional users. Let me select one of these, and then when I hit generate, now what this is doing is, so when I'm asking for the formulation, it's also looking at all the data which is already provided, and then giving me few ideas here. So I can select some of them. So maybe to show something very quickly, like let me select these 2 ideas, right? And there are a whole bunch of ideas which it has actually provided. This is configured, the number of ideas, and then now I can say generate content. So here now, it's coming up with, it's synthesizing all the information which is already available and trying to tell you that how your next product could be, what are some of the key benefits of that, and what are the advantages or disadvantages, or from where actually you can use them. So what this will help is, like, let's say that you have the data and you want to review a bunch of ideas and the drafts, and then you want to basically bring the human in the loop to review them. Let's see what it did. Looking at the SPF and moisturizers, believe me, this is an image which is actually generated.
And where is this image coming from?
The image is generated. So
Okay.
AI knows that how this would actually look like, right?
Okay.
And even the text that it has put a generic text. In case if I wanted to like give my own brand name in this image, I could do that, or I could click on this little edit icon and go and edit this image to look like actually what my future product is going to look like. All this are possible.
Okay.
But like it created a product description, it created key features, and as you go down, you will also see the benefits for the different demographics. For sun-sensitive individuals, for outdoor enthusiasts, for example.
And this is again based on all the data that was
So all the data which
our
actually,
data.
Yeah, our data.
Okay.
So there are 2 parts to it. One is the knowledge graph. So knowledge graph is nothing but what the AI has learned about the domain itself. In this case, it could be retail, or it could be about the sunscreen or the cosmetics. And then the answers which are coming are from the data which is actually provided. It uses those knowledge graph it knows actually what lip care balm is. You don't need to tell in your document what lip care balm is. It already knows that. But then you're providing the research data from which actually it's able to give you all the benefits, whom it can be targeted for, what are the improvements over even the existing products, right? All this information is already seamlessly coming here, and even telling you what are your example consumer segments and so on, right? Now, all this is good. So now when we try to get into, that's a typical technical glitch, but once you have this already, you can always basically say that, like, download a copy of this, or maybe send an email to the product research team to review this, and then maybe start the pilot phase, right?
Right.
Now it has significantly, like from months to years to, it has reduced your time of the initial draft creation to maybe a day or 2 like, for you to play around with and then actually start getting into the trial.
Right.
So that is the beauty of generative AI, which can actually bring to the research and marketing, and now the companies can start thinking about going to the market. We talked about the speed in the previous sessions. So this is speed. This is the actual speed that actually you will see when AI meets the fashion industry.
Okay, so I have another use case for you, Raghavendra. So I'm a fashion designer, and the sessions before us spoke about trends, spoke about influencer-led trends. Now I want to make sure that when I am merchandising, when I'm creating something, it's hitting the market when the trend is rising. There's no point my stuff hitting the market when a particular trend is on the downside, when it is sort of dying. How do I do that?
Sure. So this is a very interesting question and very much relevant to most of us in the audience, right? Specifically post-COVID, a lot of things have changed in the way the fashion industry is operating now. The speed at which the new designs are coming to the market. Prior to COVID, a lot of these were driven top-down by the fashion shows, the ramp shows,
right,
the fashion magazines, and so on. And now a lot of fashion influencers, and many of the fashion influencers probably in this room, right, are driving these fashions up. And many of these new trends which are driven by the fashion influencers are maybe fad or maybe short-lived. So typically for a company, fashion designers to from head to basically taking it something online and listing would take at least about 6 to 8 weeks or even more than that, or maybe 3 months. And it is quite possible that by the time they do the listing of their products, this particular
the trend is gone.
Yeah, the trend is gone, or the trend is on the decline, and then you're overstocking it, you're having a higher inventory holding cost, and eventually you need to sell it on clearance, right? Now, all that can be, again, automated. Like how we saw in the previous demo, we can do something like that. So here, this demo that I'm going to show now is going to look at what is the ongoing trend, what is the current trend among the fashion designers or any other source of information, and then extract the information from those posts. It could be the outfits that they are wearing, what is the style of the outfit, and so on. And then finally analyze that and say that, okay, this is trending. Maybe this color is trending or this neckline is trending. Let's quickly see this in action. So I have a category here selected. So I mean, this is a demonstration purpose. Again, sampled on a limited set of influencers, but the trending influencers, and a limited set of posts, and also like from fashion news articles, right? And selected the India region and selecting an outfit. The outfit is important here because outfits do have different types of outfits have different type of attributes, which we'll see. Let's say that I'm actually taking the dress as the outfit, and I'm trying to generate the trending ones, right? So now
are these like, I mean, this looks pretty cool, but are these real like influencers or?
No, these are not the real influencers.
Okay.
So what has happened is that it has looked at the influencers' posts, downloaded the images or the posts, and then extract the information using the AI and generative AI. We are able to extract the foreground information. Like, is there a human in this picture? If there is a human, what outfit they are wearing? And what is the neck style? What is the shoulder style? Or what is the sleeve style? Ask all those kind of questions. And then generated the collection of, or the repository of these different attributes. And then fed to the AI again, asking, now tell me which are the most common ones. Suppose if there is a specific, like in this case, floral tulip black dress. So if this is kind of trending amongst this sample data set, so that's what actually has come back.
Okay. And
this is a generated image. This is not the actual image, right?
Okay.
And similarly, like just to see a few more, maybe there's a white tie dye dress or lace dress and off-the-shoulder dress. All these are actually generated images. And wherever there is a specific information available, like it is actually backing this with the data. It's saying
where
that
it got the trend, why it thinks it's a trend.
Yeah, why it is trending and where it actually found this information. This is trending because probably Ananya Pandey were in one of the fashion forums or fashion events, and it's actually providing, right? This kind of actually helps them. Now, let's say that like we have this information already available, we know what the trends are. Now, how do I use this as a fashion company? Or maybe as an online fashion company, right? E-commerce company, how can I use this? So, gone are the days when like we used to search anything like just based on text to text. Now it's more from actually text to image or image to image. This is the live. This is the live with one of the customers that we had, and this is a publicly available demo, so anyone can actually access this. Basically, let's say that. Let me take a couple of examples. I mean, interest of time, I'm just copying and pasting it. So I'm like we found that floral tulip black dress was one of the trending items. Now, can I find it in my catalog? Here you go. You found something similar in your catalog, may not be 100% matching, maybe 60%, 70%, or even 50% matching. I already have it in my inventory. It's already produced and I need to sell them. Can I actually boost them in the search, promotions, or the campaign so that I can, I can improve the things, right?
Yeah.
Or I will do the same search actually based on the image, which was, So let's see image to image search. And why am I showing all this? Because AI makes like all this so much easier. So I'm going to look at the same thing, which I had already saved down here. And here you go. It's able to find the matching ones. So if this is trending, and if this is inventory, what are you waiting for? Go improve the search.
Surface it and make it more discoverable for shopping.
Yeah, so then also similar to the bot that we saw in the previous one, you can actually ask questions here. I'll quickly show the demo and then hand it over to, back, Shubha.
Yes.
So I can ask the questions like, what are the trending outputs? outfits, right? So it said that tops, jackets, pants, skirts, dresses, so there are so many categories that it is saying that it's currently trending. And now I can ask the questions like, maybe something like this. Let's take this Valentine's Day prompt and then say, can you generate one? Or maybe, yeah.
Yeah, this one is
Yeah, so I'm asking you to generate an idea. In the past section, we saw something is already generated, but now I want to try out few things. So can I go and actually try this out?
Yeah, the reason I like this is because it's generating an image which is very much in keeping with the theme of Valentine. It's a woman wearing a red dress. You didn't specifically ask for a red dress, but it's got that intelligence and it's sort of throwing up that image.
Yeah, so the fashion bots can again help the designers narrow down to different styles, like give a combination of things, what they're actually seeing, use their own human judgment and actually go and generate few articles. So summarizing this, right? So what actually we are saying is that like when AI meets fashion, it actually opens up endless possibilities. We just saw 2 use cases. There are many more things like virtual try-on, the AR try-on, like applying certain things. So we talked about the returns, the high number of returns. How can we can reduce that through virtual try-on and all these various other technologies. And in a very simple use case, boost, monitor, expand, and produce. So we saw this use case here, and over to you, Shubha.
Thank you so much, folks. Raghavendra is going to be around if you have questions or if you want to check out this demo. He's going to be in the speaker lounge area. Please feel free to reach out to him. Can we get the control back to the laptop over there? Okay, thank you so much. We will have to skip to where you see only my face on the slide, please. Hi everyone, my name is Shubha. I lead the YouTube sales team. I'm going to jump right into it. I know you're eager. We started late, etc., etc. So let's jump right into it, right? Okay, we can't jump right into it because apparently the slide is still coming up. Okay, we can jump right into it. All right, so YouTube is the home of fashion. Okay, and when I say fashion, I mean all shapes, sizes, forms, formats, everything. Honestly, the creativity that our creators show and the way they have kept up with the changes that are happening everywhere, it just blows my mind. You know, from a simple get ready with me to the outfit of the day, to hauls, to wardrobe reveals, to breaking down certain looks. Whether you're a newbie in fashion, you're curious about fashion, or whether you're a pro and you're really looking for some seasoned advice, YouTube is the home for it. And this is also reflected in consumers coming to the platform specifically looking for fashion. Okay, this is just monthly data from December last year. 5 billion views for content that is tagged fashion or clothing or apparel, about 60 million hours of watch time. And if you want to go after this audience, right, the audience which has a very high fashion affinity, just on YouTube you will be able to reach 130 million people on a monthly basis. And then, you know, whether you're looking at fashion or even for beauty, the journey to eventually buying something typically has 2 paths leading up to it. The first part is what is called passive discovery. I'm watching some piece of content, I see some brand, I really relate to it and I want to go look for more information, eventually I end up buying that. The second path is more inspiration. I have to come to this fashion forum, I want to look a certain way, can I look at what accessories to pair with the clothes I'm wearing? And so therefore there is a little bit of inspiration involved. Now whether it is one or the other, the reality is from the time we've been smack in the middle of the pandemic in 2020, the views are rising for this content. So fashion on YouTube has seen a growth, and that chart, the chart that you see is views related to content like that, is just going up, up and up. Now, I thought I'll pick 2 data points to talk about each of those paths to purchase. So if you're looking at inspiration, and we spoke about get ready with me content that is tagged get ready with me actually has grown 500%. If you ask me how to quantify that, because it looks like a lot, I don't know. Because it's a massive amount of content that is talking about get ready with me. Now let's talk about the generation that my colleague Varun spoke about, his 17-year-old daughter. Never before has a generation caused as much curiosity, anxiety, and perplexity as Gen Z does. And so to that end, if you are taking that cohort on YouTube, 18 to 24-year-olds who are watching videos, they say 85% of them say that if I see an ad in between the content that I'm watching, I'm actually okay trying out that brand. I'm going to consider trying out that brand or a product. And so that's passive discovery, but it makes sense. Now, confession to make. Once upon a time, I was an engineer, and like all good engineers, my choice of fashion was hoodies and track pants or hoodies and jeans, okay? So everything that I know, or at least most of what I know about fashion and styling, quite honestly, I've picked up from our fabulous creators on YouTube. So I thought, how about being honest and showing you a feed? This is a feed from my YouTube app, and this is as of last night. You can see the timestamp as well. So when I open the app, the first ad I see on the masthead slot is a Fab India ad, a brand that I still love very much, and a brand that is now showcasing their chicken curry design. That's what's in store right now. An interesting fact is, I did not know Basant Panchami was on 14th February this year. It's their collection. They had a yellow collection and they were advertising to me. That's how I found out. Okay, so I scroll down a little bit more and then you see this ad for a brand called True Browns. This is a brand that I absolutely love, and I can safely say I discovered this brand on YouTube. They make clothes that give me the comfort of hoodies and track pants, but they look a lot better. They look a lot more polished than that. The third one is not an ad. This is a creator I follow. And if you don't follow, I highly recommend you follow. It's called Life with Bose. He's a creator based in, if I'm not wrong, West Bengal. He absolutely elevates, and there's a lot of regional pride. He takes dhoti looks and he makes them really elevated. I know my time is up. I need 3 minutes more, please. The next one is our very own BBC, which is talking about BAFTAs, which is as fashionable as it gets. They're breaking down looks. If you see a comment there, somebody's talking about how beautiful somebody's suit was, right? That's the engagement, that's the connection. And this one is a brand I do not know. It's apparently a Gen Z brand. It's called Little Box India. But the reason I'm seeing this ad is because their products are on sale. This is how you're very present in consumer journeys. You're creating, connections. And this is why, in an era where the world could watch anything, because there is so much to watch and there is so much at your disposal, whether it is on connected TV or on small screens, people are choosing to watch YouTube. It's also all powered by Google AI. You know this, we covered this, creators creating fresh, relevant content. They are embracing AI as well. So Meghna before me spoke about the short form trend in India. This is a trend that is taking the world by storm. Short form video creators are very open, very familiar to using tools, AI-based tools to make creation a lot more fun, to speed things up. Also from our point of view as viewers, there are aspects of AI, like my colleague Varun spoke about, which we don't realize actively. So the videos, if you were paying attention to my feed, you would have seen K-drama recommendations. The reason it's there is because I watch K-drama a lot, and therefore that recommendation, that surfacing relevant content is an AI game. It's also automatic speech recognition, so now you will see a lot of videos which have explainer terms, which have translated script running alongside. India is a country that runs on 3G, 4G, 5G. The optimized experience on different screens, AI has a role to play. And touching upon the point of responsibility, there is, whether it is a third-party accreditation like MRC or our own standards that we hold ourselves to, all of this is happening with a very high degree of responsibility. I'm almost at the end. There's one video that we will play. I will hit play, and then somebody please blow up the image. These are unique, thoda hatke takes of what brands are doing on the platform, which is platform first and helping build connections.
Hello. Oh yeah, of course.
This is mine.
Would you ever wear something like this though?
If I'm paid very well. ये ठीक है.
Hey, I love this.
ये आपके लिए बिल्कुल बनते नहीं.
This is a clubbing watch.
ये डांस करती है.
We can pause.
Hello.
So this is a show called Amazon Fashion Up. It's going to be, 3 seasons are already up on YouTube. This is going to be the 4th season. Very specific challenge talking about how do you improve brand consideration. Amazon is not necessarily known for fashion, so how do we solve that? Very native, very human, very fun. Yeah, you can play this.
Guys, promo रह गया है. Promo में क्या बोलना है?
What's the show about?
It's not a makeup tutorial. It's also not a chat show. It's a one of a kind experience. मैं घर जा रहा हूँ.
Come back. शक्ल क्यों बनाई तूने?
Get up and welcome me.
Oopsie.
can stop.
Just looking
Like a wow.
We can stop.
It's
Okay, so this is Lakme, an iconic brand doing a collaboration with Wing It with Ankush. The reason that I really like this, and we spoke about inclusivity aspect, right, is because this is a stereotype-breaking creator who talks about makeup and fashion. He has everybody from a celeb to India's drag, openly out there drag queen as part of the show. This is something that gets enabled. This is also Lakme. Lakme actually last year did their Fashion Week live streamed on YouTube Masthead. It was the biggest APAC fashion event with 50 million reach. All of these are different takes. We talk so much about AI, we talk so much about creation with AI, but I feel like the one aspect of driving human connection and the need for human connection is always just there. And therefore, if there was one call to action to all of you present here, figure out how you can be where it matters in a manner that you can make connections using everything that we spoke about. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your patience. Bye-bye.